Hey, how's your dance? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am your humble host, Save Our Children TV. Before I get started, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the post notifications so you can get notified every single time we upload a video. Make sure you go over to my Prime Time channel and show me some love over on that channel. And turn your notification bells on that channel too, so you'll be notified every single time I jump on that channel. The reason why my background you can see the heart in the background is because today is a special day. Today is the 21st. Been 21 years since the 9/11 attack, and we should always have love in our hearts, and that's why I just want to honor those that we lost 21 years ago with this beautiful background. Now, I got 4 stories for you guys tonight. I'm gonna go over the stories. Our first story is a 16-year-old who shoots 2 kids at a bus stop in Miami, Florida. We have an 8-year-old who's killed, Sophia Madison. There's a second story. A third story is out of Chicago. A student was fatally shot. And then we have a 17-year-old CPS student who's killed. So, here's the story. 2 12-year-olds.
Michael, are you in the bathroom just now? Come on, answer me. Stop hiding in this stupid place.
Okay, 2 12-year-olds shot at Miami bus stop by teen who wanted cell phones, cops say. So, Miami, Florida takes that L. 2 12-year-old children were shot at a Miami bus stop early Thursday after refusing to hand over their cell phones to a 16-year-old gunman, police said. The kids were headed for school waiting for a bus when a young gunman strode up to them at 7:57 a.m. and demanded they give up their phones. They refused, and the teen opened fire and fled, quickly sprinting through neighborhood backyards to escape. Reported Miami-Dade police shut down several blocks during the hunt for the teen shooter who was found hiding in a nearby shack. A school in the vicinity was temporarily locked down afterward. Both children were taken to a local hospital and were in stable condition.
I gotta study.
That's your question. Know your name? We're going to ask a series of questions that are designed to
So here's the next article. 2 12-year-old boys shot while waiting for school bus in Miami-Dade. Teen is arrested. This happened on the 9th of September. The 2 12-year-old boys were shot and wounded while waiting for the school bus Thursday morning in northwest Miami-Dade, police said. The shooting began as an attempted robbery in the area of Northwest 109th Street and 10th Avenue just before 8 a.m., according to Miami-Dade police. Police on Friday identified the shooting suspect as 16-year-old Emmanuel Morales, who was arrested on charges of attempted murder with a firearm and armed robbery. Morales demanded their cell phones and began shooting at them for no reason. Miami-Dade police detectives Agamis Colon said in a Thursday news briefing. He then ran away. These are two juveniles, two 12-year-olds. It could be our children just going to school. Colomb said that that is the last thing that any parent has on their mind, that the 12-year-olds that were waiting to go to school are going to get shot at. The two kids are students at Madison Middle School. WPLG Channel 10 reported they were taken to the hospital and are listed in stable condition, Cologne said. In a statement, Miami-Dade County Public Schools said the incident was immediately addressed by the school's administration and by Miami-Dade School Police, and DCPS remains committed to fostering a safe learning environment for students and employees. Police created a perimeter in the area and began searching for Morales, who was eventually taken into custody at a couple blocks away. Police said they recovered two handguns and one rifle. Detectives are asking themselves right now why is a 16-year-old armed with firearms, Cologne said.
You got a cat over there or something? No, Jeff.
Miami-Dade Police Director Alfredo Freddie Ramirez III added, I am appalled that a 16-year-old was in possession of a rifle and two handguns. I am deeply disturbed that he used one of these firearms to shoot two of our innocent children. The latest shooting came just hours after two teenagers, an 18-year-old woman and a 16-year-old boy, were shot and wounded in Hialeah in a separate incident late Wednesday. Here is the article. Fair use.
Hey, hey Siri. Hey Siri. Set my alarm for 6 a.m. Get out! Get out!
Northwest 109th Street and Northwest 10th Avenue. According to investigators, two juveniles that are only 12 years of age were waiting for the bus to be taken to school when the subject, that is only 16 years of age, approached them armed with a gun and demanded their cell phone. This subject immediately began shooting at the juveniles and took off on foot. Miami-Dade Fire Rescue immediately responded, and fortunately the juveniles are recovering in a nearby hospital and they're in stable condition. The police department immediately established a perimeter and the subject was taken into custody a couple of blocks away without incident. According to our investigators, the juveniles were just waiting to go to school when this individual, 16 years old, approached them with a firearm, demanding their property, and just began shooting at them for no reason. And that's the questions that detectives are asking themselves right now. Why is a 16-year-old armed with firearms? They recovered up to now 2 firearms on the scene that this individual was carrying. And that's what we're asking ourselves. And that's what we got to be enraged as a community. Why is a 16-year-old shooting at 12-year-olds?
Okay. I'm going to tell you why. Obviously, this criminal, this thug, criminals, when they rob individuals, they always will go after the vulnerable children, which means that they will go after the ones who can't defend themselves. Now, that's a good question that detectives are saying. How did a 16-year-old get a hold and in possession of these guns and rifles? That's something that detectives needs to sit down with this child's parent, because there was no way that at 16 you should be carrying a rifle and going around robbing children at a bus stop. See what I'm saying? So the problem is that there's lack of guidance. Obviously, the parent failed this child. 16-year-olds should be out here robbing children at the bus stop. It's just over cell phones. You know what I'm saying? You know, he could have killed him. You know what I'm saying? Over cell phones. You know what I'm saying? Robberies can go bad. They could turn bad. And the thing is that these parents need to realize that their child had a gun and could have almost killed these 12-year-old children, which means that whoever let a 16-year-old juvenile get a hold of assault rifles and guns need to be held accountable also. So these men are juveniles should be walking around with powerful weapons. You see what I'm saying? So again, it starts at home. The failure starts at home. And 7 o'clock in the morning, walking around find people who robs people at 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean, come on, you that desperate? This just juvenile to be held as an adult, held with no bond, and facing maximum of 30 years in prison. And I'm telling you why. Because he shot 2 children who were 12 years old. It's attempted murder. You attempted to kill them by shooting at somebody, but you just attempted to injure them. It's still considered attempted murder because you tried to do badly wrong, if not worse. So, the 16-year-old needs to be held accountable for his actions. Let's start holding these juveniles to the extent of the law. Let's stop letting them get away with so much to the point where they can think they can go around the neighborhood and shoot innocent people and rob innocent people because they feel entitled to. This person is in the right place, which is jail. He needs to be in jail. Charged as an adult. He's a delinquent and danger to society. He could have killed Anybody around that area, bullets gonna have names on them. So to the parent, I hope that you know what I'm saying, you take accountability, and I hope that you know what I'm saying, your son made a mistake, and I hope that you have a good explanation on how your child got a hold to weapons. And where did he get the weapons? I would like to know where he got these powerful weapons from, and who gave them these weapons. I think it's more to the story, and as the investigation unfold, that piece together the whole scenario. Either he got the guns from his parents, somebody who knew on the streets, somebody gave him guns, and they need to be investigated and arrested because it caused two children to be shot, and both children were 12 years old, waiting for the bus. So you shoot innocent children because you want to go out and bribe people. I just don't understand what goes on in people's head nowadays. You know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna have the mother in court talking about her son. Her son it's her son is amazing how good he is. He just made a mistake. He this. No, what your son did was horrible, and it could have caused two children to lose their lives. So again, we gotta start holding people accountable for their actions, and he's gonna be held accountable for what he did. And you know, the parents got to realize that if you don't get a hold on to your child, he's gonna be in a system to the point where you're not gonna be able to see your child because it's gonna be somewhere in a penitentiary doing life sentences because he won't walk around with guns shooting at people. And if somebody dies in a commission of a robbery that he pulling off, then he can look at felony murder, and that's a life sentence in Florida, and that's also a life sentence in Georgia. So think about that. Talk to your children. Sit your children down, because one bad decision could cause you your life. Like, comment, subscribe, tell me about the story, and let's move on to the next story. Our next story took place in Hayward, California. So Hayward, California, Texas, and we talking about an 8-year-old girl from Hayward, California, by the name of Sophia Mason. Okay, here's the story. It says, I couldn't even stop crying. Relief for family after more arrests in case of Sophia Mason. New details emerge. Trust me. 8-year-old Sophia Mason died at least a month before her body was found decomposing in a bathtub in Merced, having spent the last part of her life malnourished and being forced to live at times in a closet. Merced police confirmed Sunday in announcing several arrests in the case. The emerging timeline of Sophia's death came as authorities hailed the end of a 6-month manhunt for a man suspected of helping to kill a former Hayward girl earlier this year. A search that stretched from the Bay Area and the San Joaquin Valley to Southern California. On Saturday, authorities captured Deontay Jackson, 34, who was wanted on suspicion of second-degree murder and a willful harm or injury to a child in the killing of Sophia earlier this year. Authorities had previously arrested and charged the girl's mother and Jackson's girlfriend, Samantha Johnson, on similar charges in this case. Also arrested Saturday were 3 women in Merced, Newark, and San Jose who were accused of having provided Jackson with money, shelter, or transportation over the last 6 months, according to the Merced Police Department. Each was taken into custody on suspicion of accessory to murder. I found the throat itch. Authorities said Jackson tried traveling to Southern California before going to the Bay Area where he was arrested in Newark. That anyone would hope a man accused of torturing and killing Sophia is disgusting, said Emerald Johnson, the slain girl's aunt. She said she broke down in tears when she told of the arrest. I was shocked but definitely relieved, said Emerald Johnson, who had tried repeatedly to warn social workers of the abuse Sophia endured. It felt like a huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I couldn't even stop crying. In announcing the arrest, California Attorney General Rob Bonta said the case left him damn angry that a girl had been subjected to so much abuse. The California Department of Justice Special Operations Team helped arrest Jackson on Saturday. We shouldn't be here. Little Sophia should still be alive today. Bonta said she would be playing, she would be learning, she would be growing up, she would be pursuing and chasing her dreams. Those accused of murder must pay a steep price for their abhorrent crimes, he added. Sophia's body was found decomposing in a bathtub on March 11th at a residence in Merced and her relatives in Hayward, where she had spent much of her life. Grew concerned about her well-being, Sophia had mostly been raised by her grandmother until January of 2021, when Sophia's mother re-entered the picture and took a renewed interest in raising the girl. A 3-month Bay Area news group investigation later discovered deep deficiencies in the response by the Alameda County Department of Children and Family Services to repeated concerns about Sophia's well-being during the last year and a half of her life. It found the county failed to respond to 5 of the 7 complaints of abuse or neglect made during the last 15 months of Sophia's life. An 8th report, one made years earlier in 2014, also was determined to be unfounded by the agency. Those failures appeared to be part of larger systematic issues in the Alameda County Child Welfare Office, which lags behind nearly every other county in California in responding to reports of abuse or neglect within the legally required time frame. Sophia's grandmother has since filed a legal claim against Alameda County, alleging myriad failures in protecting Sophia from abuse. a legal step that typically prestigious a lawsuit against the county. For the first time, authorities Sunday confirmed that Sophia appeared to have been dead for at least a month before her body was discovered. Mercy police also said Sunday that her death was ruled a homicide, but the Mercy County Coroner's Office appears to have been malnourished at the time of her death, after investigators did not announce a specific cause of death. Samantha Johnson, Sophia's mother, previously told authorities that Sophia had been made to stay in a metal shed in their backyard as punishment. Police records show she also admitted to disciplining her child on her own, including burning Sophia's leg with a hot spoon, choking her on at least one occasion. Samantha Johnson also previously told investigators that she removed Sophia from the shed on February 10th because the girl had feces on her and needed to take a shower at one point. It sounded like the girl fell in the bathroom, though Samantha Johnson didn't investigate the third because Jackson said the girl wanted to be left alone, according to a police report. The next day, Samantha Johnson assumed Sophia ran away because the back sliding doors was open. The mother to investigators, she did not ask authorities for help looking for her, a police report said. In my 20 years in law enforcement, this case is the most disturbing and horrific I ever seen, said Lieutenant Joey Perez of the Merced Police Department. The arrest kept a sprawling manhunt that included obtaining more than 20 search warrants, asking for cell phone information, and spending hundreds of hours sifting through forensic data. Authorities also spent numerous hours surveilling several locations across California. As the manhunt for Jackson stretched on, the last Merced police detectives who investigated Sophia's death put off retirement on Sunday had expressed relief after the manhunt having been brought to an end. It's closure for the Merced Police Department and also closure for Sophia and Mason's family, said Detective John Penninger. Okay. Number one. Culpable punishment to the point where it turns into abuse is against the law. It's a felony in most states. If you really think that you're going to get away with abusing your child and having multiple people engaged in this awful conduct, then you have another thing coming. Number two, the fact that you had this child in a shed for months is why I say that there's parents out here who do not need children. Because if you can't take care of your children and you have other people out there abusing your children with you and torturing your children and doing all this ruckus with your children, you should never be able to have children. This child couldn't defend herself. She gonna protect herself against the ignorance people that was around her. Now, I don't understand how you have multiple people conspired to commit this heinous act, and then have this child lay dead for a month inside your home. It don't phone police. You know what I'm saying? After torturing and killing a child. Now, I want to put a pass to it. If she was abused of good now. This part says Emerald Johnson, who's the aunt of Sophia Madison, an 8-year-old girl from Haywood, whose mother and mother's boyfriend stand accused of murdering her, poses for a portrait with a photo of Madison. Her drawings and schoolwork at Johnson's home in Haywood, California, on Tuesday, June 7th, 2022. Now, the things that I talk about on this channel, the number one message that I talk about on this channel is mom's boyfriend. Women, quit bringing your boyfriend around your children. Because number one, you are confusing that child. Number two, you don't know what this man capable of. And then you go right along with his ignorancy and help kill his own flesh and blood. Everybody involved in this way needs to be held accountable. And it's gonna happen today. It's gonna have their day in court. You know, let's use common sense. The article also states that CPS is called multiple times and they failed to engage in this case. In my opinion, CPS fails. Because CPS, the many times that CPS was called to this house, to this home, day one, CPS could investigate, could have investigated. But yet they should have investigated day one. Because they would have, if they would investigate, I'm pretty sure they would have had factual evidence that this child was being abused. Point blank period. Everybody felt this child. Everybody involved. The system, CPS, her mother, mom's boyfriend, and anybody else involved in this murder. The only person who is standing up to this and want justice, I believe, is the biological father and the aunt. Now, and other family members. Let's do this. It's not a good idea to bring a man that you just met around your children. It's not a good idea. You don't know what this man's motive is. You don't know what this man got up his sleeve and what this man's plans is to do to your child. Abuse is serious. And in the black community, abuse is so rocket high. It's so high in the air that it's up there with murder. Abuse and murder is at the same height. And we need to start breaking the barriers. We need to start eliminating abuse and murder together. Because when we eliminate this stuff, we'll see less and less children on the news. And this child should not be dead behind ignorance. Her mother did not love the child. She only wanted the child for the benefits that she can get from the child. Hashtag BFB. And BFB stands for Babies for Benefits. Shout out to AFC for that quote. For the hashtag Babies for Benefits. It's true. Women and men, mothers and fathers. Your number one job is to protect, love, support, and 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 and, and spread the love to your children. You shouldn't be abusing your children. You shouldn't be inviting any and everybody to your crib. You think that they're good people because you're not. Because then they can screw up your mind and cause you to do dumb things. I'm pretty sure there's some other, you know what I'm saying, sitting behind bars, where she used to be mom's boyfriend sitting behind bars, and number two, other people are sitting behind bars. This was conspired. Okay, this was planned. This was planned. They planned this from day one. You gotta be careful, parents, when you bring around your children. When you bring a thug around your children, bad things happen. Just what it is. Be careful who you bring around your children and bring around yourself because bad things can happen. This parent did not care about children. She only cared about what she could get from her children, and that was the benefit that she had on her child. And in this case, they need to seek the death penalty in this case, or seek life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. This was heinous, and justice needs to be served. Abuse is not a game. Let me share it one last time. Let me go back to. Let me go back. Let me go back. This innocent child could not defend herself against the tyranny of her mother, her mom's boyfriend, who chose to callously end her life with other people. Justice needs to be served. Hashtag in the comments justice for Sophia Mason. Sophia Mason. SOPHIA MASON. If you love your children, you will not abuse your children. Let's go to the next story.
Changed and relate
Okay. Chicago takes it now. Here we go. Chicago shooting. A 17-year-old CPS student is killed in Hyde Park, ID'd by me.
You, Peter. You don't understand anything.
A 17-year-old boy was killed in a shooting Friday afternoon in Hyde Park, Chicago police said. Chicago police said a Chicago public school student was attacked by a group of armed people in the 1600 block of East 5th Place. According to CPD, the student was on the street when he became involved in an altercation with a group of people in a car. The car chased the victim into a parking lot, and at least 2 people in the car got out and opened fire. The teen was struck multiple times and taken to University of Chicago Hospital, where he died. The medical examiner identified him as Kane Perkins. All of us at Chicago Public Schools are saddened to learn of the loss of another young life, and we extend our heartfelt condolences to the family, friends, and community members impacted by this tragedy, CPS said in a statement. Carla Sutter heard the gunfire erupt outside her apartment. Moments later, she rushed outside to find a boy lying in a pool of his own blood, clinging to life. It was hard to look at, she said. I'm in fear of my life. I'm in fear of my own life, fear for my family. No one is in custody. No one currently is in custody. Police are canvassing the neighborhood for any video. I saw one young man pointing this way, saying, "There they go." They were running. They were driving away, said neighbor Earl Ruffin Jr. A gray Dodge Challenger with no license plate was seen fleeing the scene, according to the University of Chicago Police. Police said they believe the student attended Norby Kenwood Academy and was out of that time as part of an open campus launch. The school was placed on soft lockdown for a brief time after the shooting. Kenwood Academy principal Corn Calloway released a statement about the incident to families. The safety of our children is my top priority, and I'm ready to inform you of a situation impacting our community. This afternoon, we received reports that shots have been fired near our school and that a member of our school community have been injured. The Chicago Police Department and paramedics responded to the scene to provide support. During the police response, we kept students indoors and accepted precaution regarding close contact with CPD and CPS Office of Safety and Security in this incident is under investigation. Our thoughts are with the family of our school community member to protect the privacy and never to go into further details. Today we choose to do a soft lockdown and cancel off campus lunch. We ordered pizza for students who need lunch, and instruction is taking place as usual. Please know that we are taking the situation extremely seriously, and we have requested additional safety support by school. If your child expresses any worries or concerns about this situation, please reach out to us, and we will be able to provide them with extra support. I want to always keep you immediately informed. Please understand that there will always be a slightly delay as we gather information and get directive from CPS. They sometimes write contribution to this report. Here is the article.
This event was known as the darkness and began with the infestation of these shadow-like beings. They would then torment their victims until madness or painful death followed. As a desperate last resort, the Anasazi priests trapped the demons inside the ritual stones they used to communicate with beings. They then hid them deep within the caves that surrounded their homes. If the stones were removed,
We now know the name of the CPS student shot and killed in Hyde Park last week. The Cook County medical examiner has identified the 17-year-old as Kanye Perkins. The Kenwood High School student was shot near the school during the lunch hour. Investigators say Perkins was involved in some kind of altercation inside of a car, and he was chased into a parking lot and then shot. Police are still searching for the gunman.
accidents brought death.
Okay, here's the update.
Have a great night.
Hey, who's up there?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Deputy Chief Ron Pontecore. Last name is spelled Pontecore. This afternoon. There was a tragic incident on the 1600 block of East 50th Place.
Okay, number one. You mean to tell me that you can't even go outside to have a lunch? Secondly, I feel like the same thing you got into an altercation with the people in the vehicle. You know, this is the thing. It might have been an argument going on, but the thing is that the fact that people take the coward way out by shooting and killing somebody. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, people don't talk with their mouths. They talk by pointing a weapon and shooting at you. And the thing is that, you know what I'm saying, not only that you killed this 17-year-old minor, but think about that. Think about the impact that you caused, not only for his school, not only for that issue, not only for the police, but for his family, that community. You know what I'm saying? So, killed my child over there. And the fact that there was no license plate on that Dodge vehicle and there's multiple people inside, and the fact that you leave the scene of a homicide, you know what I'm saying? It tells you that people is all talk but no action. You know what I'm saying? Because if you want to shoot somebody to the point that they dies from the injury, last thing you should be doing is doing the scene of the accident. Because it makes you look like a coward. Point blank period. That's what they want to say in court. It makes you look like a coward or a clone or and leaving him on the ground. Like common sense. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand. You know what I'm saying? The purpose. What point did it make? Like you know, you gotta use common sense. Certain things don't go certain ways. But to use deadly force during an argument, you know, you gotta understand this. You want your life and everybody else that's in the vehicle. It's past assassination. Now it's murder because the person died from injuries. And this is how we need to hold people accountable for their actions. You commit crimes, you can do the time. You commit a murder, you can do the time. Again, Chicago is a rough area to live in. It's a rough area to visit. It's a rough place. But we gotta. It's time to get the dogs off the streets. And we gotta help these. You know what I'm saying? The mayor in Chicago, the you know what I'm saying, legislators are held accountable. Get the dogs off the streets. They're not making the streets safer. They're bringing more and more violence to the neighborhood. Start getting the guns off the street. Start looking for the ghost guns. Start looking for the assault rifles. Get them off the streets. Just innocent people that was in their life behind stupidity, behind nothing over that argument. So it causes somebody to lose a life. And not only to lose your life, but then you're going to lose your life and everybody else doesn't have vehicle for to lose your life too. So think about that, people. You're going to go out and commit a crime. Think about that. Like, comment, subscribe, turn notification, and your bills also be notified every single time I drop a brand new video. That is the end of the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, turn your notification, turn on your bell so you get notified every single time I drop a brand new video. Go over to our Primetime channel. Please go over there today and subscribe, like, share, turn your bell on so you be notified over there every time I drop a brand new video. Do the same here. Where to start? I love doing what I do. Advocating for children who can't advocate for themselves. We gotta be the ones to advocate. We gotta be the ones to speak. We gotta be the ones to elevate and push the movement. We gotta be the ones to stand up and say enough is enough with the violence. We gotta be the ones to stand up and say, take this to somebody else. We don't need it in this universe. So, love you guys. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Tomorrow I'm on my Primetime channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow on that channel, which is Monday. So make sure you go over there and show me some love. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Peace.